Hello and welcome to Countdown, your one and only spot to get all of the news from both the Australian Boomers and the Jayco Australian Opals camps as we count down to London a little bit later on in this year, and also the Farewell Series, which is coming up in June. I'm Darren Boyd and I'm going to be your host for this journey. I'm really looking forward to being a part of it. And I can tell you, what we're going to do every week on Countdown is we're going to bring you some exclusive interviews, exclusive news, and some of the biggest names in Australian basketball. And today, we're not mucking around because we have gone right to the top of the tree. The rundown that I was given a little bit earlier said that I was going to be joined by a Boomers icon, but I'm going to say that I'm joined by an Australian icon. Speak on it. Multiple Olympian. Andrew Gaze, my guest host on Countdown. Thanks for being here.
No, thanks, Darren. It's very good. I'm just cannot wait for those exclusive reports that we're going to have. It's just exclusive to this program. Fantastic.
Absolutely. I think I've been around the news industry a bit long. We're going to pump these things up, Drew. You know how it is. As a Fox Sports man, you need to know these things.
No, it's good. And it's exciting time. It's right on the doorstep with the Olympics coming up and our Opals looking very sharp up in camp and our Boomers starting to get together. So it's real good reason for some optimism as far as our Olympic campaigns.
All right, Drew, it's going to be fantastic to get some of your thoughts right throughout today's show on Countdown. But right now, we're going to head to the news desk. We're going to bring you some of the latest updates from both camps. And headlining our news this week is the fact that the Jayco Opals are currently in camp at the AIS in Canberra. It's the second week of their camp as things get serious for our medal-chasing stars. There was a slight reduction to the squad last week. The final numbers are down to 15 in our training squad, from which the final 12 for London will be selected. But prior to that, the Opals go on a tour to Europe in early June, and the squad for that tour will be announced at the end of this current camp, which will be at the end of next week. On the Boomers side of things, well, they announced their squad of 25 recently, from which their final 12 for London will be selected. And other than the injured Andrew Bogut, of course, all the current stars are present and accounted for. Headlining the squad, San Antonio Spurs point guard, of course, Patty Mills, who has found himself in the Western Conference Finals over there in the NBA. Exciting times for Patty. Alongside Patty in the Boomers squad, and also in the backcourt we expect in London, is college sensation Matt Dellavedova. Some of our European-based stars are in the team. Alex Maric is there, David Anderson is there, Brad Newley, Joe Ingles, they're all present, plus some of the NBL boys. Mark Worthington, Adam Gibson and Damian Martin are amongst them. The Boomers squad goes into camp in Perth early next month in June as they try to prepare for the Yu-Gi series against China, which commences over in the West on the 9th of June. Well, an emotional Penny Taylor spoke to the media recently after she withdrew from the Jayco Opals squad ahead of London. Even though she was very upset, obviously, about having to withdraw and having to undergo the pain of a knee reconstruction, Penny still has great hopes for what the Opals might be able to achieve in London.
We've got so much talent, to choose from. Belinda Snell, Jenna O'Hay, and look, you've got Susie Bakovic, Elizabeth Cambridge, who will only be better this year from the Worlds, and Lauren obviously is always at her high level, so everyone can contribute something to sort of fill the little bit of a void left by me.
You can check out the full interview with Penny at Basketball Australia's website, www.basketball.net.au. And of course, last but certainly not least on our news bulletin this week is the information about the Farewell Series, basketball's road to London, which starts in Melbourne on Sunday 24 June. The Jayco Opals are taking on Brazil and the Boomers are taking on Greece in a 3-match series across Victoria, and we're encouraging every basketball fan in this state or others who can travel down to Victoria to check out the series to get down and check it out. The 3-game series for both teams is going to be opening on that Sunday afternoon at Hisense Arena with a doubleheader featuring both the Jayco Opals and the Boomers. For all the information about the Farewell Series and all your details about how to get tickets, make sure you check out the website www.thefarewellseries.com.au. Well, Drew, we've just been speaking about the Farewell Series. It must be pretty exciting for both the teams. I guess at that national team level, you don't get too many opportunities to play in front of the home crowd.
No, that's true. Particularly here in Australia in recent times, we haven't had a lot of quality international competition. And on the eve of the Olympic Games, it's an essential period for the preparation for our guys to go over there and do their absolute very best. So 2 quality teams coming out here as well. The Greek team, long history, and with the Greek community in Melbourne, hopefully they come out and support the Greek team and show a little bit of love to the Boomers as well, and of course with the Opals, and they've got a real good challenge playing against Brazil. So two really good teams. So hopefully the fans will get out there and show some support for the Australians as they prepare to go and represent us at the Olympic Games.
Now, with the Boomers squad, were there any surprises in it for you when it was announced?
Well, I think the Boomers squad is the accumulation of a 4-year period.
Yep.
And we've seen what happened at the World Championships where some of the younger guys started to get some opportunities. And even in the squads, although some of the players haven't featured all that prominently with the team over the years, they've still been involved in the squad. So no real great surprises, and there really shouldn't be unless you have some Shaquille O'Neal type come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's one where you build a foundation and accumulates over a period of time, particularly with the new coach, Brett Brown, coming in over that period. He's built it up to a point where it pretty much picks itself. And realistically, I think there's possibly only really 1 or 2 positions that would be up for grabs.
Yeah. What about with the Opals? We know that they've had the heartbreak of losing Penny Taylor, one of their best couple of players, a world champion in 2006 and the MVP. I mean, we know that Graffy's going to be spinning it, that this is an opportunity for somebody else to step up, but how much pressure, added pressure, did that put on the other girls?
I know it might sound like spin, but there is some merit in what Graffy is saying.
Yeah.
I think that it does provide opportunity, and we've seen over the years the depth of talent available at the Opals, but unfortunately, Penny Taylor is so good that you really can't replace her like for like. We've got unbelievable depth, but she's just one of those freaks that we've had the privilege to represent us over many, many years. So it's going to be more what she does collectively to compensate for her, rather than just any one individual trying to assume a role that she could play. But with respect, there really is not too many people that in the world, not just in Australia, in the world, that can play a role like she has. So it's a real big challenge. But I still like our girls. We've got some size, and Lauren Jackson sort of at that period now where she's a mature veteran and out there. You don't want to say it's her last roll of the dice, but it's going to be an opportunity for her to achieve something that she hasn't done before. And when you've got a player of her calibre running around in the green and gold, you're always a chance.
Well, somebody else who's going to be trying to book her seat on the plane to London is Bulleen Boomers star Sam Richards. And as part of our first Jayco player profile, we caught up with Sam at the Opals training camp.
It's amazing what a chance of glory in London will make a player do. For Sam Richards, it meant turning her back on lucrative European basketball to ply her trade in the WNBL under the watchful eye of the Jayco Opals coaching staff. A well thought out decision.
If you're under the eye of the selectors, then it gives you, a better opportunity to make the team. So that was part of my decision making process. But I also wanted to play for a good coach that was going to help develop me, and that's why I went and thought I'd play for someone as credible as Tom Ma.
A highly credentialed point guard, Richards knows she has a battle on her hands to make the final 12. With the likes of Christy Harrower, Erin Phillips and Kath McLeod duking it out for the ticket to London.
Every spot in this team is difficult. I mean, the depth of Australian women's basketball is huge, so no matter what position you play, it's going to be tough to make this team, but you can't think about those things. You just got to do what you're capable of and hope that what you've put in is going to be good enough to make the team.
Knowing the final decision for coach Carrie Graff won't be an easy one, Richards is making the most of her time, working closely with BA fitness guru Bowden Babachek at the new Victorian Institute of Sport facility.
We've been really working on our base fitness, and Bowden's been great and helping us develop that, as well as Dom, and I'm 10 minutes from here, so this location is perfect for me.
Leading the young Bulleen Boomers squad to the WNBL Grand Final, Richards has seen firsthand the development of teammates and emerging Jayco Opals, Rachael Jarry and Liz Cambridge. Despite their relative inexperience on the international stage, Richards expects big things from the duo.
It's been really great to play with a really young team. I'm the oldest one in the group, and it's been good to be around some enthusiastic players. And someone like Rachael Jarry is just full of fire, and Liz has got so much potential. And I think they're two great players to be playing alongside of, and it'll be really interesting to see how they develop in these next camps coming up.
Getting her first taste of international basketball at the 2010 World Championships, Richards is keen to do it again in London, but not before playing in front of a packed out home crowd as part of the farewell series, Basketball's Road to London.
I think it's amazing that you get to play, hopefully in front of a full house in your Australian uniform. You know, there's nothing prouder than playing in front of all your friends and family in your country, in your colours. So I can't wait for that opportunity.
Good luck to Sam Richards. She's certainly going to face some tough competition to make that final cut. We wish her all the best. All right, now the shot clock's on. That means it's time for the Countdown Beatdown. Well, this is the Peak Sports Countdown Beatdown, and it's your chance to put our guest host, of course today, none other than the great Andrew Gaze, under the microscope and ask some really tough and curly questions.
Oh no.
The weekly winners, Drewy, they're going to win, well, let's just have a look. They're going to win the Peak Sports Boomers and Jayco Opals merchandise pack and go into the draw for the Ultimate BA prize pack. Make sure you check the website for details. Now, what people are being asked to do, Drewy, is get on Twitter.
Right.
Now, we know you're
Andrew
on Twitter.
Gaze 10, I think, is the handle you need to just log on to hear all the goings on.
Well, that is one of them, no doubt. But we also, the details of the Basketball Australia Twitter handles for both the Boomers and the Opals are on the bottom of the screen right now. Make sure that you use the hashtag beatdown when you're tweeting your questions in to our guest host every single week.
I like it.
All right, Drew, first episode, Countdown Beatdown, brought to you by Peak Sports. I've got to ask you this. What's going to be a decent result for the Boomers?
Ooh, decent result. Well, we're hoping that they'll get at least to the the final four, but it's a real challenge just to get into the top 8. So I think we will assess it on the way they play, and sure, we want to see a good result and we want to be playing off for a medal, but I think we just need to judge it on its merits and how they play against some of the better teams.
Is that the first time you've made made 24 put a question and answer in under 24 seconds in your life?
No problem. It's sharp punches to the point.
Just analysing that a little bit further. We've avoided the USA in the pool games, but we are at risk of meeting them in a crossover match. So I guess it's hard, isn't it? Because you want to play the best, but you know that they're probably going to be a little bit sharp.
Well, that's true. In our pool, I think what we've got is we've got the better pool.
Yep.
So we have a better chance to finish in fourth, finish in fourth or above, because the two pools of 6, top 4 go through. The problem with that is our crossover game. So you play a quarter-final game, that's going to be a tough one. But you know what, if you're going to get to play off for a medal and get into that final 4, you're going to have to beat someone like Argentina in order to get that chance. So I would much prefer to be in a situation where at least you've got a better chance to getting into that situation than being in a tougher pool where you could play very, very well and not even finish in the top 4 and you miss out altogether. So there are pros and cons to it all, but I'm backing our boys to put in a good one in that quarter-final game, which is going to take a bit of work. We must beat Brazil, we must beat China, and still got one more qualifier. But Spain's going to be tough. very, very difficult to beat.
Tough,
So we'll cross over probably France, I think it is, or Argentina. So it's going to be a tough one, but good chance.
Yep. I think you might have a shot clock violation there, Drewy, but...
the shot clock had finished and you added one to it, so that one
we'll have one
count.
more on the clock.
Okay, just got to tell me the rules and I'll play by.
Flashing back to what we were talking before about Petty Taylor, we know the Boomers have had an injury problem of their own with Andrew Bogut out. Who are we looking for to step up? I know they're huge, enormous shoes, impossible shoes to fill for the same reasons we spoke about earlier, but where are we going to get the lift from?
Well, I think we need a superb performance from Lauren Jackson, and we've pinned our hopes on her many, many years, and she's delivered in spades. She's an absolute superstar, but she's going to have to be at her best, and I think someone like Lizzie Cambridge, who has been around the program for a little while, got good size, good experience. She's now at a time where she can take her game to the next level and bring home at least a medal for the Opals.
All right, well, why not? It's straight on the shot clock too. It's right in front of us and it's on your screen. Make sure you get in contact with us every week on the Peak Sports Countdown Beatdown using the hashtag Beatdown on Twitter. Welcome to the Countdown Conversation, brought to you by Spalding, where each week, not only are we going to be putting some hard questions to our guest host, this week Andrew Gaze, but also we're going to get somebody else on the line as well. This week, joining us via Skype is Australian Opals legend, 3-time Olympian. She's also a WNBL MVP and multiple champion. I think it was only 5. We occasionally say it was 6, Drewy, but maybe it's the other way around. But anyway, it's Rachael Sporn who's on the line joining us via Skype. Rach, great to have you with us.
Thanks, Boydie. Hi, Gazy.
G'day, Rach.
Now, we've got to get started, Rach, and we're going to put the asset on you first up. There are 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and the Opals have the ball. Who's taking that final shot?
Do you know, I'm actually going to go with Susie Bakovic.
Oh my goodness.
She's probably, excuse me, Andrew.
Oh my goodness.
She would be absolutely under the radar, I think, internationally at the moment. And, you know, Lauren Jackson is the obvious answer. But
Correct.
I think with Susie's form, she's just had a magnificent training camp and Carrie Graf has talked her up. And as we know, she won MVP for the WNBL. And I just think she has all the moves. She's very unorthodox, so she's probably likely to be fouled on her way to the basket.
All right, Drew, same question. The Boomers got it. 10 seconds to go. Who's getting the pill?
With the Boomers, I think right now you're going to go with Paddy Mills. He's been spectacular in the last few games of the regular season of the NBA. He can create his own shot. It's going to be hard against the bigger sized players to go down low. Obviously, if Andrew Bogut was there, you'd probably throw it in the middle and let him do his thing. But right now with Paddy and what he can get done from the perimeter, I'd go with him.
I've got to ask you both about perhaps the most, other than Paddy Mills, perhaps the most exciting young guns from each team. Rach, I'm going to start with you. Liz Cambage, what are some reasonable expectations of Lizzie coming into what we expect will be her first campaign?
Look, I just think she needs to build on her very good World Championship performance in 2010. I think she's even younger then, and she really did play well and played reasonable minutes in that tournament. And just a fantastic backup for our big girls. And with her absolute height, we haven't had this height for a long time that she will give us. So I think we need to really utilise that, and our guards need to be aware. Get it into Lizzie. And I just hope she shows the mental toughness that she'll require at that level. And I think Carrie Graf can bring that out in her.
That's going to be probably the biggest test for Lizzie, I think most of us think, Andrew. But what about a young man who's done it all on some of the biggest stages? Matt Dellavedova. We know he's been to the NCAA tournament. He's played brilliantly for St Mary's. What are we expecting from him?
No, I'm loving it. And I think that he's going to get good opportunity to play some significant minutes. And we're going to rely pretty heavily on him. I think he, along with Paddy Mills, will be the cornerstone to our back court. There's some others there that will play a significant role, but for him, he has got maturity beyond his years, and he does have some experience at the collegiate level, but the standard of the Olympic competition is something that he won't be familiar with, so it might take him a little bit of a time to get a feel for that and the adjustments that he needs to make, but he's been sensational, and you can't teach. It's very difficult to teach basketball IQ, and he has got a good one. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to perform.
All right, it's going to be very, very exciting in London. Well, you're both going to be there, and Rach, we'll be probably catching up with you again a bit later on in our Countdown series, Drew. But Rach, thank you very much for your time as part of the Countdown conversation today, and we look forward to seeing you in London as part of the commentary team. It's going to be very exciting.
No, it'd be great. Andy and I get to spend quite a bit of time
together.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait. You're looking mighty fine too, Rach, I might add.
That's probably because we've got the really nice lighting happening.
Yes, it's wonderful over there at Adelaide. The electricity is abounding, Rach. It's fantastic. Thank you very much to you, Rachael Sporn, for joining us, and also to Andrew Gaze, our special guest host today, our very first edition of Countdown. We've got to say a very big thank you, of course, to our sponsors. And they are Jayco, the Australian Sports Commission, Peak Sports, Spalding and Sporting Pulse. Make sure you get your tickets to the Farewell Series, the Boomers and Jayco Opals Road to London. Check out the website, www.thefarewellseries.com.au. Thanks for your company. We'll be back next week with Countdown.